be having Mr. Ore, and he'll be speaking on conscious living. And he's an author of the book as well called Conscious Living. So it's a great privilege to have him here. And thank you very much, everyone who's been supportive for joining us, watching us on YouTube and as well other platforms. So I'm going to send him the link right away, and then we're going to begin the show. Okay. 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 So thank you so much for joining us. We're going to be heading in right away, and we'll begin now. Okay. 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 Very good. Let me see.
Okay. Hello, sir. Good.
Oh, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, sir. I think we might have to turn it.
Okay, do you prefer that way?
Yes, yeah, that's
Okay,
better, actually.
that's fine.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much.
My pleasure. Just gonna get that raised up just a bit. Okay, there we go.
Okay, very good. So once again, I want to introduce Mr. Ore, and it's a great place to have him. And when I first posted your picture, you were like, "Wow, this is a very fine man." I'm like, "He's married." So let's. Okay, so Mr. Ore, thank you very much for the privilege to have you and talk about your book as well. Too. I read your profile. You're the author of Conscious Living. So it's a great privilege to
Yes,
have you live right now. So thank you so much, sir. The floor is yours.
my pleasure. My pleasure. Just to be clear, Conscious Living is not your book. It's a compilation of thoughts. It's a compilation of mindsets that I've put together as blog posts every now and then. I've decided not to put it in as a book, so it makes it easy for people to read. People don't read no more, honestly. So so that's the reason why I've done that. But yes, thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much. Okay, Mr. Ore, the floor is yours, and then we're willing to. I have my pen with me, and I have my book with me to write some insight.
Okay. Well, yeah, my name is Ore. Most people call me Moya. I'm a brand manager. Um, but amongst all that, I'm so many other things. I am a compare. I do not like to call myself an inspirational speaker or motivational speaker. No, I like to think of myself as someone who has got a lot of things up there. I would just like to
Mm,
share it with as many people as I can while I'm still alive.
mm,
So, uh, conscious living was something I started a few 2 years ago. 2 years ago, and it was because I realized that a lot of our decisions in life, people seem to, from what I discovered, people seem to take a lot of things in life as I'm destined to. People take a lot of things in life as what would be, cool, Sera. When you apply for a job and you don't get it, and the first thought is, well, it's not mine. Well, that might be true, yeah, but I do believe that there are a lot of decisions that we could take that could actually determine direct implications. So, really, what is conscious living? Conscious living is all about living with the knowledge that every decision you make has a direct implication. So, it's about living with I don't want to use word conscious again, but living with the understanding, living life knowing fully well that all your decisions have direct implications. And I put it to you that even the lack of making decision is also a decision in itself. An example is if you decide to not do anything today, if you decide not to do anything today, you've already decided not to do something today. So that way you made a decision, and the implication would be, well, you wouldn't probably not have the most fruitful day, if you get what I mean. So as humans, I believe that we tend to, I think because of religion, we've been led to believe that a lot of things in our life is predestined. It's based, what will be. So, and it's mostly because of religion. But then I'm usually led to remember a part in the Bible, I think in Deuteronomy, that says, I lay before you, because I'm a Christian, it says, I lay before you life and death, and I urge you to choose life. That in itself shows you that as human beings, even in religion, we're expected to make some certain decisions. Yes, a lot of religion will teach you that you cannot really control your destiny. But I don't really subscribe to that. I believe that a lot of decisions we make, a compilation of decisions we make, ultimately lead to where you're going to. I could go on and on and give examples, but that's not what I'm really focusing about. It's not really a conversation about is destiny real or not. No, it's more of a discussion to show that how you can live consciously, how you can things you can do to have a conscious effort in life, things you can do to help yourself live with an understanding that every decision you make have implications. The first thing I would like to talk about is the people around you. And growing up, I do remember that I grew up with I selected the people around me very graciously, and I'm not sure why I decided doing that at a young age, but I remember growing up, I always wanted to have friends that were a lot older than me. And most of my friends when I was in my teenage years, they were businessmen, they were people already working, and it was just something I always wanted. And I realized much later in life the reason why is because I had an entrepreneurial mindset. So I always wanted to surround myself with people that were entrepreneurs, that were businessmen, you know. I remember growing up, I think around when I was 10 years old, you know, when the grandparents come around and give you money and all that. I had a colo. I never spent my money. I put all the money in the colo, and at the end of the month, I bring it out. Then it was like, I could make like 1,500 naira. That was a long time ago. And then I'll now apportion it and say, okay, I'll spend 200 naira on Mr. Biggs for my family. Then I'll buy maybe a rechargeable lantern or a Walkman or something, you know, something nice for myself. And it was just something I always did. And as time went on, I found that I was also now thinking of investing my little change here and there. And I feel that was amazing for me, you know. So surrounding yourself, I could do things like that because I surrounded myself with people doing what I want to do. Now, I wrote something down on, I think, a year ago, I think, or thereabout, and I said, there's a big chance that there's a big chance someone will achieve what you are trying or want to achieve. And you know, when you want to achieve something, there's nothing new under the sun. Whatever you want to achieve, someone somewhere has achieved it. You understand? And usually the human reaction will be to hate on that person. You know, when you want to do something and someone else has done it, you now start having that hate. You know, you're now having beef, or maybe you start feeling sad or depressed. You know, I spent a lot of time acting growing up, and I remember when I go for auditions and I don't get picked for the role, I was always so upset. When I figure out the person that gets the role, I'm just like upset times 10. You know, but that's normal human reaction. But conscious living says that you need to curb that emotion and take advantage of it for the better. What does that mean? When someone has achieved what you would like to achieve, first of all, kill that hate. Consciously tell yourself that I will not hate on that person, I will not be upset, and I will not be sad. take a further step. Consciously congratulate that person. If you know the person one-on-one, send a message. If it's on Instagram, leave a comment, leave a nice comment. Oh, congratulations on that role. Send an email. I recently was put up for promotion at work, but I didn't get the promotion. And then I went over that same day. I sent a message to the guy that got the promotion, and I said, "Congratulations! I know you're going to do an amazing job." He was shocked because he felt I was going to be a bit weird about it. And when we had our annual meeting and we met face to face, I gave him a big hug. This is not to say that I was not upset that I didn't get the promotion. I was upset, but I had to consciously tell myself, no, this guy achieved what I wanted to achieve. I've got to congratulate him. I've got to celebrate his success. So that's what conscious living says. And the most important cell is consciously surround yourself with that person that achieved what you'd like to achieve. I remember I think it was a pastor that said this. He said, you can't attract what you dislike. So if you dislike someone that achieved what you want to achieve, you can't attract that achievement. So conscious living says that when someone has achieved what you would like to achieve, first things first, kill the upset. It's okay to be upset. It's totally normal. It's human. You should be upset. I mean, you wanted it, but curb it immediately. Then go all out there, congratulate the person as much as you can. Then find a way to keep that person around you. That person is going to give you that ginger you need to go for it. You will learn from that person. You can't attract what you hate. You've got to surround yourself with people that are doing what you want to do. It's a conscious effort. A lot of times, what I've always done in my life is I've always had friends. My best friend actually is a very intelligent person, and I purposely selected him. It wasn't random that we became friends. All my friends have never been random. It has never, when we hang out a couple of times, I already know if you're going to be my friend or not. You've got to have what I'm aspiring to be. There's a famous quote that says that if you are the richest person in your friendship circle, start changing your friends. You've got to have people around you that challenge you, and it's consciously you do it. It doesn't happen randomly. You just don't happen to just have rich friends or entrepreneurs as friends or doctors as friends. It doesn't happen randomly. You've got to consciously say, okay, I met this person, build that relationship, spend time in that relationship, spend money in that, invest into the relationship. Then you have those people around you. You find yourself hanging out around them. And it's not just a thing of you just want to gain from them. You also have to invest in that relationship yourself. So consciously surround yourself with humans that you admire. So that was my first point. What do you think so far?
Thank you so much, sir. Okay, so I have a question. You said something which I felt like it's something that has also been, should I say, I wanted clarity about it. So I had a situation one time. I needed to do something, and I kept trying to do it, and it wasn't working. I kept trying to do it. It wasn't working. And a friend of mine said, "Oh, miracle! I think probably it's not God's will." And I was like, "Okay, let me understand something right now. When do we know when something is God's will? And when do we know when we have to push forward and have effort and having to make something work?"
Yeah.
Because I feel like people say faith without works is dead. But at the same time, how do we know our role and how do we know God's role when we're trying to do something and it doesn't seem to work and we indirectly just have that assumption that probably this is not God's will? How do we balance it with conscious living?
For me, and this is something that's always worked for me, I live with the awareness that everything I do is going to work out. Yeah, I live with the awareness everything I do is going to work out as long as I'm putting in the required effort. Let me explain. You want to be a doctor, for example, a medical doctor. If you don't go to medical school, no matter how much you are destined to be a medical doctor, you will never be a medical doctor. There is no two way about it. There is no breaking up. It's what you sow, you reap. Yeah. So if I want to, okay, let me use this example. Recently, I made an investment into some trading portfolios, some shares and all that. Before I did that, I did my research. Yeah, I checked properly that I know I'm taking a risk, but I did my research that at worst I'll break even if the investment doesn't work out. I did all my proper research, and then I eventually invested into it. Yeah, I expect that this is going to happen, but I know there's a risk that it might not work. Yeah, and this is where this is what conscious living says. There's always the factor that what you're doing might not be what you're doing might not be what you're supposed to be doing. But it is better to move forward than to be stagnant. It's better to consciously understand that what I'm doing right now, it might not be what I'm supposed to be doing, but I'm still doing something. Yeah, it might not be. In fact, this has been my case recently. I recently decided that I wanted to a change in my career path. I wanted to fully be a brand manager as opposed to being a business analyst. And I tried my best so many times to get a job as a business analyst, and it wasn't just working. Yeah, and I had people came telling me that don't worry, just keep trying. It will work out eventually. Hey, I was like, I get that, but I've got to use my sense here. My experience is more in the brand manager capacity. For me to get proper jobs as a business analyst, it's not impossible, but it's going to be 10 times as difficult. Yes, in 5 years' time, I might end up being a business analyst, but at the minute, that is not going to fall into my hand because that is not what my pedigree is. No company is want to employ a brand manager as a business analyst. They'll rather employ a business analyst as a brand manager. But if I want a business analyst role, then I've got to consciously look for qualifications. I've got to go do courses that match a business analyst role. Then I can now get a business analyst role. I don't know if that makes sense. Exactly. But thanks
Wow.
for the but thanks for the question. Let me quickly go straight to my second point. And this is something that I believe in so much, and this is where a lot of people, I dare say, a lot of men are scared. A lot of men are scared to do making drastic changes. Conscious living says don't be afraid to make drastic changes. I wrote something down. I said the biggest resistance to change is usually the people around us. That is usually the biggest resistance to change. If you decide today that you want to stop drinking, for example, stopping to drink is not really the problem, but the people you drink with is the problem. Okay. Oftentimes, when you make a change in your life, some of your close pals will probably not agree with it. Probably because they are used to the old you, or let's say they just love you the way you are. But you really can't allow that old you back. People change. We need to understand as humans, we are supposed to change every single day. The aura you knew 1 year ago, if it's the same aura you know now, then there's a problem. It means I've not evolved. Human beings were supposed to evolve, we're supposed to change. So don't expect me of last year to be the same person. Even physically, did I've added weight or I've lost weight? I cannot remain 80 kg consistently all year long. Something will change. So we've got to have that conscious understanding that change is actually normal. Embrace change. If you decide to make actually, let me put it this way. If you decide not to make drastic changes because of a friend or even family, your spouse, this is the amazing part. Someday, they will also need to make a change in their life, and you'll be the casualty of that change. You would so don't be afraid of making drastic changes. Those that want to be in your life, they'll remain in your life. Those that don't remain, it means that they are not supposed to be there any longer. They're not part of the change. Yeah. If you want to stop gossiping, consciously says just stop. Consciously say, I'm not gonna. When you find yourself gossiping, when you catch yourself, just hold it back, just stop. There is no prayer for it. There is no 10 steps to stop gossiping. Just stop. Honestly, if you want to start praying, start. If you it's I know sometimes it sounds so rudimentary. I grew up with a bit of anger issues when I was growing up, and I remember the day I decided to stop getting angry. It was when I decided to be counting. Anytime I get upset, I just count 1 to 100, and it calms me down, and I'm not upset again. So there is no 10 steps to doing it. If you want to do something, whenever you catch yourself doing it, stop. It's as easy as that. So never let the fear of people not liking the new you hold you back. Never let the fear of people not liking your change hold you back. Sometimes, actually, most times, to get to the next level of your life, you probably need to make big changes. So consciously make drastic changes. Where you need to be, you probably would need to make a change in your life to actually get there. So make a change if you want to. Don't let anyone hold you back. Consciously just decide, I want to change. I know how many changes I've made in my life. And by the way, it's not just about negative things. There are some things in your life that are not necessarily negative that you just decide you don't want to do anymore. For example, I decided I don't want to be waking up too early again. Normally, I wake up 6 o'clock, normally, for some random reason. But I decided, why am I waking up 6 o'clock then? For the first, I'm not doing much. So why not let me increase my sleeping time by 1 or 2 hours more? And I'm well rested. And I decided that, and that's what I've been doing. So anytime I wake up by 6 o'clock, I won't stand up from that bed. Once I must close I must close my eyes back to 7 o'clock again. So it's not just a thing of negative things, anything. If you feel that there's something, and the amazing thing about we human beings, there are things in us that God has put in us that it prompts us when we need to make a change. Some people just prompt that, I should probably doing this. For example, I recently started playing football with my friends just to increase my cardio. Nobody told me that. I just decided to. Something prompted me. I don't know what it is. Some people call it fifth sense, but when things like that come up in your mind, in your spirit, just consciously decide, okay, time to make that change, and make it no matter what. Just do it immediately. And that's the end of my second point. I've got so many points that I actually do want to share. I've got a long note, but I'm only going to share 3 today. And this last one. Oh, by the way, if anyone ever wants to just chat with me up about this, just send me a DM. I'm always happy to talk about conscious living every day, anytime. It's like my baby. I love talking about it so much. It helps me practice it also, by the way. Yeah. So let me just share the last one before we get chatting. The last one says, daily consciously celebrate yourself. I love this one so much. Consciously celebrate yourself. As humans, we tend to wait for people to celebrate us. It's almost normal. You buy something, you put it on social media, not because you're necessarily celebrating yourself. You're looking at those comments. What are people going to say? Would they like my new car? You're not really enjoying the car. It's more about what people are saying. But conscious living says, celebrate yourself. Celebrating yourself. It's not pride. It's appreciating your process. I wrote a blog about trusting your process. I'll probably share that another day. People need to appreciate their process. It's not until you get to your destination, because life itself is not even a destination, it's a journey. So every single opportunity, I'm one individual that I celebrate every single thing. And as a Nigerian, Nigerians, we celebrate. If you get the job, you celebrate. If you don't get it, you don't. You celebrate. You have drinks with your friends. If somebody died, you celebrate. Somebody gave birth, you celebrate. So yeah, there's nothing wrong. I take advantage of any opportunity to celebrate myself. I wrote this down actually. Celebrate yourself every day. Celebrate the man you are becoming. Celebrate your achievements. Celebrate God's grace in your life. And this is something I do every morning. I recently got this big mirror in my house, in my room. And every morning I look into the mirror and I say, you are doing well. I say to myself, you are doing well. That little statement has the power to actually change your entire day, your view of your day. Once you can look into the mirror and say, this guy, you're not doing bad at all. Because as humans, we are so used to being so hard on ourselves. The journey of every day will make us forget all what we have. And we'll just be so focused on what we do not have. But when you can look into the mirror at the beginning of your day and just acknowledge how far you have come, it goes a long way. And this doesn't happen randomly. You've got to consciously stand up from the bed, it might be annoying the first few times, but trust me, when you do it consistently, you find that yes, I actually appreciate myself, actually love myself. Don't wait for anyone to celebrate you. Don't rely on anyone to celebrate you. No, in fact, no one can celebrate you like you. That's the truth. No one can celebrate you like you. But in fact, this is another trick, guys. Buy yourself a nice gift one day. Go to the shop. Just it doesn't have to be expensive. Just buy it for yourself and tell yourself you deserve this. Because of this, take this for yourself. Don't wait for anyone to give you a gift. Buy it for yourself. Take yourself out. I mean, I know times might be hard, but once in a while, just take yourself out and eat that fish that you normally call expensive. Just take yourself, just the fish alone. You don't have to buy drinks, so drinks might be expensive. Just go and eat that fish alone and say, you deserve this fish. Look at the fish and say you deserve to eat this fish. Because life will tell you that you've not done enough to eat 2,000 naira fish. But say no. Go out there, eat that fish. Tell yourself, I deserve to eat this fish. And I know it sounds so rudimentary, but it's true. Those little things have the power to actually change your view of life generally. So I wrote down here, never let anyone make you feel you've not earned a celebration. You have earned it. You have definitely earned. In fact, you're a celebrity. So consciously celebrate yourself daily. Think yourself as a celebrity. Celebrities are those that normally people celebrate them. But your own kind of celebrity is you are the one celebrating yourself. So on that note, I would just say in every day of your life, every second, every minute, every hour, have at the back of your mind that your decisions are actually having little impact here and there in your life, and the summation of those decisions have a larger impact. What they say, little drops of water makes an ocean. It's the same thing with your decisions. Little decisions here and there, they are coming together to unfold where God is taking you. Thank you.
Wow, thank you so much, Mr. Ore. Thank you so much. One of the things you said, which I remember very well, is no one can celebrate you like you.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. So we have two questions, and then the first question is this: a lot of people have that struggle having to actually. Is there something like you having to enhance or develop your self-awareness or your consciousness? So sometimes people lack the ability of having to be so conscious of themselves. So
Mm.
if there's a question like, can people actually develop themselves to be more conscious of themselves, to be more conscious of their decisions, if there is?
My gym partner said this to me yesterday when I was trying to. He's a lot stronger than I am, and well, he lifted this particular deadlift. Was like almost 90 kg. That was a lot for me. And when it was my turn, I wanted to reduce it. He said to me, What are you doing?" I was like, "I want to reduce the weight. It's a lot for me." I was like, "No, don't do that. You can do it." Like, okay. I went there. I pulled it. I eventually did, and I dropped it. And he said to me, "You do not know how strong you are." And this is the reality of most human beings. We do not know how powerful we are. Human beings, we are the ability we don't know what we carry. So when someone says to me that I can't do this, what I'm hearing is I don't believe I have the power to do it. I don't believe I'm strong enough to do it. I don't believe I am equipped to do this. I don't believe that's why I hear. I believe you can. So yes, if you decide you want to live consciously, you can be more aware. I know that due to maybe your zodiac sign, your temperament, this and that, you might believe in yourself. You might believe that you are not a self-aware person. I believe that's just a summation of what your life has told you, your experiences has told you. How does a woman know she's clumsy? It's because throughout her life she has done some clumsy things, and people have told her you are clumsy. So she has taken on the title of I am clumsy. That's what has happened. But from when human beings were like a blank canvas when we were born, with each experience in life, it's painting us to who we are. but we have the capacity to actually drop some of those things. We do have it if we actually do. So what I would say to someone who doesn't think they're equipped or who doesn't feel like they can be saved, I'll tell you, you can do it. You can. It's in you. You can, and you definitely can. And if there's anyone that feels that way, please send me a DM. I will be glad to have this conversation with you. I would like to walk with you through the process. Again, it's a process. It's not instant. It takes time. You're not going to suddenly. I know. Yes, I'm saying stop gossiping, but you find yourself gossiping every once in a while still. But conscious living is not saying that gossiping is you must never gossip or you never find yourself gossiping. Conscious living is saying that anytime you find yourself doing that thing you do not want to do again, consciously stop. It will be, I mean, just imagine I'm gossiping with you and suddenly I just stop gossiping. You think I'm crazy. You find me weird. But consciously living saying, do not care about that. If you want to do something, whenever you catch yourself doing what you don't like doing, stop doing. If you want to stop masturbating, for example, whenever you find yourself, just consciously, okay, I'm halfway in, I've got to stop. And that's what conscious living is saying. I don't know if that answers the question.
Yes, yes, yes. Thank you so much, sir. Okay, so the last question is this. We all ask our speakers. I read your profile and then I see how you've developed yourself consciously. And the question is this is for young people at the same time, or other people who feel like it's going to be helpful to them. In your experience in life right now, so much you've spent, you've done so much, you've had relationships with different people, you've gone from one place to another. What is that person thing you want young people should know? That okay, this is what you want a young person to know.
Well, I'm young myself, so I just turned 30. So, um, what I would say is, you've got so much in you. You've got so much power in you. I use the word power and I use it carelessly because power just summarizes it all. You've got so much in you. You can, and there's really, as a human being, there's really nothing you can't do. There's nothing you can't do. If you decide you want to do it, there's absolutely nothing you can do. So to every young person listening to me out there, I would just say this to you. Consciously believe in yourself. Believe you can do it. Believe you can do it. The only thing that can stop someone from not doing what they want to do is interest. For example, coding, or let me say instruments. In fact, this was something a keyboardist friend of mine said to me recently. I was telling him the other day that I was telling him that I wish I could play instruments. And he said to me, why can't you? I was like, I've tried, I just couldn't. I was like, and he said to me, you're not just interested. Immediately he said it, I could not deny it. I could not deny it because I remembered all the things that I was interested in doing. I did it. So whatever you want to do, as long as you're interested in doing it, you can do it, and that's the truth. You can do it. Don't let anyone tell you otherwise. Consciously activate your mind to think that yes, I can do it. If I want to do it, I can do it. Nothing can stop me. You would always find a way. Something, and this is why I love God so much. I'm a Christian again. This is why I love God so much. He makes everything work together. He makes everything work together. And I think the second thing, pardon me, I need to just add this one because this is very important for young people. Whatever skill you think or talent or gift you think that it's useless right now, I assure you to pay off one day. Just keep owning it. Whatever skill. Don't let anyone tell you abandon, leave that one, leave all of them, just be doing it. Just be doing it. Just be doing it. Just be doing it. At some point in your future, you'll find where that skill is required. But one thing I would also say is that as human beings, you've got your strengths and your weaknesses, yeah? Don't focus too much on your weaknesses. I know people will teach you that focus on your weaknesses so you can be better at it. No. Focus on your strengths. Don't exhaust your energy on what you can't do. Exhaust yourself on what you already know how to do. If you now want to learn new skills, that's different. Instruments, for example, I never knew. I spent some time trying to learn it, but I told myself early on in life that, okay, it's not for me. Let me just leave it. I'm not going to kill myself. But what I knew how to do, if I do it well. So those things you can do, focus more on it. Spend some time on doing what you don't really know how to do. But those things you can do, consciously put everything. And again, God's so good. Everything just has a way of working together for your good.
Wow. Thank you so much, Mr. Ora. We're very grateful. And Honestly, I'm very, very grateful. I would hope to have you one day physically, probably in Unilag, to just have a physical session with you. Thank you so much, Mr. All
Thank
right.
you very much
Okay, everyone.
for the
Thanks so
opportunity.
much for joining. Okay, sir. Bye, sir.